Hey everybody, welcome to the Hoot Hobbs Show. I am your host, Hoot Hobbs. With me as always, Mr. BT, Brandon Torres.
Hey, hey.
All right, so let's get into it. I'm like, it's going to be, just fair warning, this is a heavy show. This one's going to be heavy, okay? And it's going to upset some folks, but just remember, here at this show, we never try to come at anything from a place of hate. We just try to get information out there and share our opinions. And if they upset you, just remember that what you getting upset for, I am not important, okay?
And so, also, again, coming from a place where it's not intended to hurt.
No, it's just sharing opinions, that's all. And I understand that opinions can hurt feelings, all that kind of stuff, but trigger warning. Welcome to the Hoot Hobbs Show. Okay, so let's get into it and let's just talk about this thing going on with Disney, okay? It is what it is. It's all over the place now. Is it about
that movie that came out that's a little controversial?
No, it's talking about, you're talking about Turning Red?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that too, because it is kind of in the intermix, okay?
Among other things that...
Sure. So here's where I'm going to tell you from a conservative standpoint where the conservatives are having issues, okay? So what is his name? Rufo. Peter Rufo, or I think I've messed up his first name. His name's Rufo. He's a journalist. So he has recordings, and not like scandalous ones, like from Zoom meetings and stuff like that,
of employees
of Disney CEOs and that kind of stuff, talking about basically that they want to make things more inclusive for
everyone.
I'm about to say. Yes, but I'm using their words, okay? Their words, and I got told that this is an acceptable word now, but they're trying to make things more queer, okay? And I got told that is an acceptable word now. Okay. So I'm just using what they were, okay?
It's not my lane to speak out of.
Yeah, I'm just good. That's what I'm saying. I'm just quoting what they're saying.
We prefaced, coming from a place of no hate. Like,
right,
if you're saying the wrong word, let you know.
Yeah, just be like, hey, man, don't say it. I'll be like, all right, my fault.
My bad. Yeah.
But like I said, this is a direct quote that they wanted to inject queerness wherever they could in children's movies. And... they want. Let's see, what was the other one she said? Oh, a not at all secret gay agenda. So,
what's that last part? What does that part mean? I understand the injecting queerness.
Sure, but
it's like trying to
she said
that, thing where you're adding elements you normally don't see because these people do exist in our society.
Well, the way this woman had said it, and I forgot her name, but I'm not a reporter. You know what I'm saying? But what she had said was, I think it's great because Disney is allowing me to go with my not at all secret gay agenda.
Okay.
And then that's when she had talked about, I was just injecting queerness wherever I could and this, and this. So you're talking about children's movies with, things like, pride symbols or even gay characters,
Now, is this like subliminal messaging type of situation, like when Disney was putting the phallic symbols
and like the Little Mermaid and like Sex in the Clouds of the Lion King,
stuff like that. That eventually, when you look at it, it's like it's a wild conspiracy theory until you later found out no, somebody slipped that in there and got fired over that. And why hasn't it been taken out of modern release?
We don't know. They've got the technology.
Yeah, they can edit it out.
But no. This isn't subliminal messaging. This is, it's out there. Like there's a big controversy right now is that in the new Lightyear movie.
Okay, the new Buzz Lightyear movie that
there's supposed to be
protesting.
You're protesting.
I don't like that it's not Tim Allen.
I
have a political stuff aside. Tim Allen, I've always loved
Tim Allen's
Allen,
fantastic.
The Home Improvement guy.
I would say Tim the Toolman Taylor is fantastic.
So I don't know. It's weird without him, but I got an old man. I got to move on.
Yeah, right. But anyway, in this movie, apparently there's gay characters and all this kind of stuff. Which
do they focus on the gay character?
Apparently, there's I'm with you because there's always been gay characters.
Yeah, like Lafitte or whatever.
Yeah,
LeFou. Yeah, LeFou, that's it.
Yeah, LeFou. Yes, he was always gay for Gaston. We knew that.
Yeah, from the beginning we knew he was.
But it never came out and said that, right? Okay.
And because it didn't need to be said. But
I agree. That's what I'm saying. I agree. But anyway, no, this is stuff like there's supposed to be like the biggest controversy is apparently there's a scene and it's animated. Okay. That's why I feel so silly saying this, but there's lesbians kissing and that kind of stuff.
My question is it like the end of any of the Disney princess movies where they kiss Prince Charming? Except in this sense, it's not.
Well, I don't know. I'm just going off of the information that I've got.
You haven't seen that.
Yeah, I haven't.
You're not a big Disney fan anyway.
Well, I would say that's not necessarily true. I do like Disney, but I don't like a lot of the new Disney. Like some of the newer stuff, like Encanto. That's one of their new ones. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
I like the Luca movie.
Yeah, Luca was great. Man, maybe I am still a Disney. I just like
Moana. I liked Moana.
I think I liked Moana at one time, but
you heard so much of it. It's like
that was my daughter's favorite.
It was Oliver's favorite too. For a while. So
yeah,
I understand burnout. Our kids are around the same age, so I get it.
Yeah. So look, all that aside, basically, I'm just going to give my opinion on this, okay? And they're doing all this very publicly right now, and I think it's in response to what's been dubbed the "Don't Say Gay" bill in Florida. Governor DeSantis has put this bill in place, okay? And I heard it first as the "Don't Say Gay" bill. That's the first time I ever heard of it.
It's like they call Obamacare, and it's never actually been called Obamacare.
Right.
It just became known as, and that's what it's always going to be referred as. So this will be the Don't Say Gay bill.
So, and whenever I started watching some of the videos, because like remember, I'm a conservative, so I'm like, whenever I hear of conservatives doing a "Don't Say Gay" bill, I'm like, bro, that's not going to help our cause at all.
Yeah.
So I started seeing the videos of, teachers that are a part of the LGBTQIA plus community.
And it appears that there is a large number of them
right. Especially in Florida. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a large state, and honestly, there's a lot of money in Florida, so it's a great place to be.
And Florida is a weird state to begin with.
Bro,
I mean, Florida man.
Yeah.
Do I need to say more? Florida man.
Yeah. So anyway,
if you know, you know.
Yeah, there's some of the points they're making. Before I actually read the bill, I was like, I actually feel like this is wrong, because they were talking about how like it's basically illegal to come out as gay and be a teacher in the state of Florida. And I was like, well, that's not right. You know what I'm saying? That's not right. And so I decided, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to load up my question, go hunting answers. So I read the bill. That's not what it says. It doesn't say that.
Enlighten us. What does it say?
Okay, so I'm going to paraphrase because,
you don't want to go,
I just don't want to read the legalese. Yeah, here, within, therefore, and thus. And you're like, what? That didn't say anything. Okay, so basically what it is this. Very specifically to the age group of pre-K to grade 3. What they're saying is basically they can't teach things like gender identity and that like they're not supposed to be answering questions. Apparently, not supposed to be answering questions about if a kid were to ask, like the example you gave me, if a kid were to ask, what does gay mean, right? Well, now the teacher can't give an answer, right? And I can understand for a split second why that would be upsetting. Be like, if that teacher's gay and they can't answer that because their hands are tied on that subject, that's got to be hurtful. But flip side of the same coin is this: why would you answer that anyway? Why wouldn't you say, well, I think, little Timmy, that's a question to ask your parents, right? And, a lot of them are upset because they're not supposed to ask these small children, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm talking below the ages of 8.
Questions. They're the ones that ask a lot of questions.
Sure, but it's not because they're curious about themselves. It's because they just don't know what it means and they want to know because one of their little buddies called them gay.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what happened.
Or
kids are
they
still
saw it on television or something.
Exactly. Now, here's the thing. We're talking about children below the age of 8, essentially, okay? I support the bill, and please hear me out before you crucify me. It's not because I hate gay folks, nothing like that. It's that I don't want teachers teaching my daughter about heterosexuality or homosexuality or bisexuality, pansexuality, transsexuality, any of the children are not sexual beings. Children are children. And I think to a certain extent, you have to protect that innocence.
As long as you can.
As long as you can. Because look, man, by the time they hit 9 years old, they're going to start asking some of the questions. And that is about the time that they say, okay, you can start answering them. I believe that the thing that upsets me actually isn't even about gay or anything like that. It has nothing to do with that. I have a problem with public school systems. Okay, now I went to public school. My children are going to go to public school. I'm not like so against that. We ain't doing, I'm not doing that. But what I am saying is there seems to be this new weird mentality, not just in Florida, across the board. Like, my children don't belong to me. Like, the teacher's like, these are our kids. I'm like, nope. And maybe I'm being a little bit standoffish, I guess, about that, because I don't like someone else saying that my kid is, they're my kid. No, they're not. They're mine. But I don't know. I feel like, switching back to the subject, I feel like those type of questions, especially at that young of an age, they need to be handled at home.
Yeah.
And that's my only thing with the Disney thing too. I'm not saying that we need to deny young people, gay young people, or queer young people, because that covers all of them. That's why I got told it was okay. It covers all of them, okay? So I don't think that you need to just discard them and not answer their questions. That's not what I'm getting at. But I think that there's a certain age of it becoming appropriate to answer. Like, if my daughter asks me about heterosexuality, if she asks me about I don't know, because she doesn't ask me.
Just ask you about sex in general.
Yeah, at 5 years old, I'm gonna be like,
it could happen. I'm sure.
I'm sure it does too. But I mean, maybe I shelter my kids. Maybe I'm one of those people. I don't know. But my 5-year-old doesn't need to know anything about sex. Okay, she just doesn't. I mean, look, when the time comes, her mama will have that conversation with her, and I believe that her mother is who needs to have that conversation with her, not a teacher at school.
I'm gonna say this. I totally thought you were gonna be one of those people, and that's when we go down to the farm and just let them learn on their own. They just
no, man.
They just hang out at the farm for a day, and then they ask questions. You gotta tell them.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
No.
When you grow up on a farm, you learn this stuff so young about
you do
about reproduction that it's just
I say
now all of the other elements of sexuality you don't learn.
Right.
You learn about the birds and the bees.
Yeah, the birds and the bees.
This happens to reproduce.
Yeah.
But
about other forms of sexuality, though, I don't feel like it is anyone's business to teach children about any form of sexuality, because I believe that children are not sexual beings. Once they go through that wonderful change of life that ruins us for at least 2 years. I'm still bitter about that.
It's probably longer.
Yeah. But anyway, we all go through puberty after puberty. Then, and if little Johnny starts saying he's a little Jane, that's for him and his parents to discuss. That's for him. And look, I understand that sometimes parents are not the support system a kid needs.
Yeah, because that has been the argument that has been proposed to me is also,
sure.
What about my parents that whenever, I come to them and say, hey, I might be a little gay, and they say, no, you're not. Yeah. Here's the Bible.
Yeah, right. Hey, I get it. And here's the thing. And I know this, this gets to be the tired excuse, right? So I disagree with all forms of queer lifestyle because of my faith, and I don't believe it is right. Now, please understand that I can disagree with you and still love you.
And not necessarily interfere in your life.
Exactly.
You're not harming anybody.
Exactly.
I'm
not looking to look, man. Hey, I'm using you as an example here, okay? And obviously, you have a wife who is a female person, but I am just saying.
Where are we going with this, man?
Yeah. If you were gay, okay, and we're best friends, right? Mm-hmm. And you were gay, and you came to me and said, "Yo, dog, I'm super gay now. This is my man."
Hold on, wait a minute.
I don't know why I turned you into DMX, but I did.
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
Looking good, dog.
Yeah. I can't even. I'm not even gonna. But anyway, if you do that, I'm probably gonna be like, "What's up?"
Yeah.
And they'll be like, "You got a problem with this?" I'm like, I mean, not like on the surface, no.
Like, no, but it's kind of like it's kind of weird that this came out of nowhere where you never wanted to talk about it with me before,
right?
Because you've always tried to make yourself open to conversation for any reason, because you're always there to. I guess if someone needs help, you want to be able to put your hand out there and help them through whatever struggles they may be having.
To quote Jared Kiso,
whether you agree with them or not.
Yeah, to quote Jared Kiso, when a friend needs help, you help them.
Yeah,
that's it.
I mean, we're not going to talk about it here, but you've made offers off air of things.
Yeah, man. I
regardless of how you feel about things, you're
because I got people that'll get involved. Oh Lord, but yeah, man. Like I don't know. Like I have people in my family who are part of the LGBT community. It ain't nothing personal. I just don't know all the letters that go into that. They keep growing.
Yeah.
And they keep changing too, for the record.
Or the order that they're in.
Yeah, mess me up. Well, I guess the Q's still there because it was LGBT.
I guess
LGBT
you're right. The Q would be the last
queer.
one because it kind of encompasses everything. It's weird for me because that was always one that was really offensive.
Yeah,
like an offensive term. But I guess
they took it back.
They did. Yeah.
They took it back, and good for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, seriously, if you actually look at it, queer, the definition of queer actually really does fit. It's off the beaten path. It's not normal. It's
not normal. I guess that's what it is. Not the traditional. Not normal.
Exactly. I would say, and just by normal, we're talking about traditional.
Yeah. Just
you do you, dog. Anyway,
oh God, we're back. DMX is back again.
Anyway.
Rest in peace, DMX.
Yeah, he was
one of a kind. Truly,
he was something. Anyway, but I don't even know if I've made a point with this Disney thing yet. I'm going to say I disagree with them doing this, but not on the basis of I hate them gays, but on the basis of I just don't think that pushing any kind of material like that to children is the right move.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
That's where you're in agreement with it. Is that this isn't a conversation that you should have with children, regardless of gay, straight, or whatever.
Absolutely.
You just don't want to have the sex talk with children at such a young age.
Yeah, I'm talking...
At that point, they're not even developed, sexually.
Exactly.
Yeah, mentally or physically.
Exactly. So we'll jump off of that. And basically what I want to do now, because you really have the insight on this one. You brought this one to me.
Yeah, give me a second to get my notes back up here. But yeah, you can go ahead and introduce it.
So I'm not going to even try to mix up the names because I know I would mess them up. I read this article one time, so I'm not going to be in. But apparently, lack of a better way of putting this, the Me Too movement is kind of making a comeback in the WWE.
Well,
and I make it sound like it's a good thing. That's not what I meant. There are allegations against a professional wrestler by his wife.
Yes.
Abuse and things like that. I don't know if it was sexual in nature. I don't remember that. I think it was just physical.
Just physical abuse in this case.
He has been accused of that by his wife, who has a history of mental health issues or something like that. Brandon will get into all that here in a few. And he has already been released from his job, and he has denied everything. So it is literally he said, she said, you lose your job.
The WWE technically released him because, and through the course of all of this, accusations being made public through, I'll give you her name. It's Kimberly is the name of the wrestler. At least that's what she goes by.
Right, stage name, definitely.
Stage name here, but she's a wrestler for Impact Wrestling.
Okay.
But she's also married to, formerly Nash Carter of the WWE. And what she did is she's made accusations online that he has physically abused her and emotionally abused her for years and held her hostage and made all of these bombastic claims like that. And then he, obviously denied it immediately. And this was during WrestleMania weekend, not saying that this is important or not, but he won a championship over the course of this weekend. So he won the tag team titles with his partner because they're one of the topper, more marketable tag teams in the NXT brand of the WWE. Well, she made these allegations and accusations, but then after he wins the title, she tweets out that night, congratulations, so proud of you, babe, or something, and then immediately deletes it shortly after.
Yeah.
And then the next day is back on the accusation rounds with more, except this time she's posted pictures of the way she looks currently with no messed up face, and then a picture of the alleged moment of abuse where she looks like she's been hit in the face. And she says that she's hit it. There's more evidence coming, and she's got these accusations. But again, nothing has come into play. Sorry, my wife just messaged and I missed it. But There's not been evidence that's come through as far as the allegations other than this picture, but because she also posted photographs of him doing like a Hitler mustache when he was shaving his face in a salute. It's an older picture, but now it's been, brought to the public, but you can't have that such an ugly thing out there that's obviously you and associated with you. So they immediately, release him. So it's had a ripple effect on him. So he's been released not because of the accusations,
Right.
because of that. However, wrestling internet community has condemned him.
Yeah.
And as far as they're concerned, he is guilty of this, which he may be, but we don't know at this point.
See,
but he's already been basically blacklisted because of the allegations.
Exactly. So here it is.
So this is kind of those are the facts of where we're at right now. He's been released based off of the accusations, and we don't have further evidence at this time. Now, if they are true, good that he was released.
I was going to say, here's my thing. If the accusations are correct and he is guilty, let's just drag him out back and shoot him. You know what I mean? Let's just get it done. We don't have to put him in jail. He's the worst form of scum, one of the worst forms of scum, to do that to his wife, right? But the problem is, whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty, right? And I'm not saying that if he did all this, why? It comes back to this, man. Why wait? Why wait to go against him, right?
It's, I guess, a fear of retaliation,
Sure.
a fear of not being heard for so many years of being told, no, that's not true, or nobody believing you, it falling upon deaf ears.
Okay.
But
and that's a good answer.
It goes back to the fact, though, that I understand that he got released for something related to the incident, but not the incidents themselves. However, everything that I have seen, people are not necessarily defending her or defending him. They just immediately put him in the label of he's an abuser. And we don't have the evidence that we don't know if he's the one that hit her or any of this stuff yet. So that's where it's like, I hate the rush to judgment.
Right.
Now, again, they released him for the mustache picture. I get that. You don't want to be associated with something that's
What,
an image
Hitler?
of Hitler.
Yeah. No.
So I get
Idiot.
that. Dummy.
Yeah, I'm about to say idiot. Like, if that's what they're saying, they release him for him. Like, that's good enough for me because you're an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the rest of it, though, is immediately as soon as those accusations went out, he became public enemy number one as far as it was.
And like I said, here's the deal. If it's true, he deserves it. He is
absolutely.
But I have to be like, if there's no real evidence besides some pictures and allegations, old pictures don't hold a lot of weight in court. And like, this is me talking, not that woman lying. I'm saying, like, for future reference of all women that might hear this show, if you're being abused, don't wait. Come forward.
Out immediately,
Speak
please.
up. Because the longer you wait, the easier it is for him to lie his way out of it. I bet that. I was a cop. I can tell you that is exactly how it works. And look, no matter what you think, cops don't have that much to do with keeping your husband in jail. They can take him there, but they can't keep him there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that was even the case with I don't want to even try to remember it off the top of my head, but somebody had done something over the course of the weekend, and it was awful what they had done, but their bond was set at like $3,500.
Yeah,
that
and they
means
walked.
They'll be out.
Yeah,
all that means is they will be out because they are wealthy, and that is nothing to hold them.
Yeah.
Back on what we were talking about.
Yeah, okay, so with the WWE thing,
he's essentially, his life has been thrown apart because of allegations that at the moment we don't know are true or false. That's
right, and
that's kind of where we're currently at.
Doesn't it kind of make you sick to your stomach a little bit that you're like, you almost sound like you're defending Homeboy, right?
I'm trying not to.
Yeah, because
the truth here is I'm not an MSK fan. I don't even like him as a wrestler.
I don't even know who the guy is. Yeah. Well, obviously, I'm not a big wrestling fan.
Yeah, I'm just saying that. It's not like he's one of my guys.
Here's it just seems too easy to accuse someone of anything. You remember with all like the Me Too movement going on, right?
Yeah.
That went on a couple years ago. It was a big thing. And look, it exposed a lot.
And it exposed so many people for the better because bad people got taken out of positions of power they didn't need to be in. Got taken away, and some of these women got their stories got to be heard. It got to be shared.
And it's
people
important.
are aware of it. It's very important.
I say the problem is
there are some people that
there's opportunistic people in this world that no matter what, whether it be the Black Lives Matter protests of 2020, the Me Too movement before or after? I don't know, the past
Same
few
time.
years, about the same
It
time.
was about
Okay.
the same time.
Okay, so fine. The Me Too movement, all this kind of stuff, they started as very good things, okay? And opportunistic, terrible people get in amongst it and they say, hey, I want to go ahead and ride these coattails and I want to make something of myself. So then you started talking about the Me Too thing, you started having allegations thrown out against everything, right? We're just throwing mud against the wall hoping something sticks. Well, to a certain extent, some of these rich guys are going, I don't know who this is, but I ain't trying to go through this. I'll settle. You know, and that in and of itself is a scam.
And it's also why it was so easy to release this guy. He's not making the most money like on the roster by any means.
Right.
He's more or less on the developmental side of their brand. So he's more or less expendable.
Right.
Plus, it's pro wrestling. You can always vacate a title and put it on someone else because you're in charge of the storylines.
Right.
But I guess the fact of the matter is, though, it didn't take a whole lot for them to let him go. They didn't fight real hard to keep him, which I don't blame them. You want to disassociate yourself with something that's imagery like Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
But it's also, as far as the court of public opinion goes, this guy is dead to rights. He's guilty. And which makes him harder to employ. It makes him harder to just go out in public because he's a public figure, being a professional wrestler on TV.
Exactly. It's just like any athlete that gets accused of something.
And if he did it, then he deserves all of that shame,
Absolutely.
all of that punishment.
100%.
He deserves more if he did anything as actual crime.
Yeah, let's cut his hands off.
So-
You know what I mean? Like, he ain't gonna hit nobody again. And if he starts like hitting you with stubs, we'll take you the whole arm. If he tries to kick you, we'll take the legs, man.
So
I'm good.
That is kind of what I agree, and I hope that somebody is taking this woman's allegations seriously.
Absolutely. I hope it's being investigated.
Because I know that these have been going on the internet, at least on social media, for over a week or longer, where she's been doing this. So I don't know what's going on here, and I hope there's some resolution for the betterment of everybody involved here.
And I'm going to go ahead and say it like this, and this is going to sound super weird, I think. But like for this woman's sake, I hope she's telling the truth. I hope that there is an investigation. I hope they find the truth, and I hope that she is compensated, however that may be. Him going to jail, having to pay some restitution to her, that kind of stuff. There needs to be he needs to be held accountable. However, I will say this: if she's lying, then
not cool.
That's not cool, and I think she should. I think that she should be subject to fraud laws. At least a misdemeanor on. Yeah, I mean, you could go as far as slander and defamation of character, and that's more of a civil suit, though.
Yes.
But on the criminal side of things, I mean, if nothing else, a misdemeanor communicating a false police report. You know, I mean, that doesn't come with any kind of anything.
It is something that you don't want people, and then it happens, unfortunately, with anything. It's like the boy who cried wolf. When you got a number of people crying foul, eventually someone is crying foul and nobody's listening because so many people cried foul.
Yeah.
We don't want that. We don't want these ones that they find are false or fraudulent, and then it makes people not want to believe the next one. Because just because one person's story isn't true doesn't mean that the next person's story isn't also true.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's
exactly.
it doesn't mean that it is either, though. And that's kind of where we're coming from. Is like I thought we were all supposed to be protected until we are found guilty.
Well, but I would say, but that's not even just the court of public opinions. The justice system in our country now is you're guilty until proven innocent, and it's supposed to be the other way around. There's always supposed to be a presumption of innocence.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been in our country for quite some time. And that's coming from someone who worked in law enforcement. I'll tell you that once you've been arrested for a major crime, it does not matter unless there's evidence that can prove you innocent, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely
It is actually the prosecution's job to prove you guilty.
I guess, and we'll talk about this whenever we get into our sports show, but for example, Tiger Woods' public image.
Sure.
It went from being fantastic, squeaky clean, making millions, almost billions of dollars off of his image and brand, to he gets involved in a scandal, which he did. But
but it was his personal life.
But that immediately, court of public opinion, Tiger Woods was all the way at the very, very bottom. Now he had to, do whatever
he's clawing his way up. That Tiger,
all of that stuff that he's done to work his way back to where he's competing in the Masters today. But the fact that he was able to ask for forgiveness and try to work through it is something that I like. I like people getting a second chance. I know that I've had my share of second chances, and I am always going to be the person to try to give another person a second chance if they've earned it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Because everybody's not necessarily, they can be held accountable for the mistakes that they make, but just because someone makes a mistake doesn't mean that that mistake is them.
Exactly. Exactly. Dude, I've said so many boneheaded things in my life and done so many stupid things in my life. Could you imagine if like that was just who I was? You know, my biggest mistake is who I was. I mean, you know, none of us would survive that.
I know. I've often thought about that if I was the person that I was even 10 years ago, the person that I am now, no, it's a completely different person, and I've grown and changed for a reason. And I'm, again, a person that thinks change is very important. And things have to change to get better.
I'm almost there with you. I think that I'm not quite as optimistic. I do think that in order for things to get, when they're bad, in order for them to get better, of course they have to change. But I think that change sometimes can be a bad thing. Now, I think that any healthy person is going to continue to grow, you know, which, you know, change, sure. But I've seen really, really awesome people change in front of my eyes into people that I didn't want to be around anymore. I didn't want to. I didn't want to associate.
There's nothing to say about that. Sort of change.
But at the same time, I guess the argument could be made: did they really change, or did my perception of them change? Did they take their mask off? Did I just open my eyes?
Yeah, did they stay the same and you grew?
Yeah, exactly. So maybe that'll bake your noodle. We don't know.
Yeah, the majority shareholder of Twitter has now smoked a blunt on camera.
What?
How about that? Remember whenever Joe Rogan had Elon on his podcast?
Yeah.
He hit that blunt or that joint or whatever he was smoking with him.
Yeah.
So now one of the majority shareholder of Twitter has smoked pot live on camera.
All right. Yeah, Elon, man. So basically what it is Elon Musk has he is now the majority shareholder of Twitter.
Yeah.
Which
kind of came out of nowhere, but I don't watch the business, news.
Okay, so I keep up with it loosely. Okay, so when I saw
you have
this,
investments, I forgot. You told me you play the game a little bit.
Yeah, every once I dabble. I do not do well. Okay, I can tell you that. I'm still running the steel shop.
Keeping even.
Yeah,
maintaining.
I don't know if I'm even doing that. I'm losing, but but if you never sell, you never realize the loss. So
yeah, you always have opportunity to get it back.
That's right.
Just when it gets back up there, get out.
Yeah, no kidding. To the moon. I got out of Dogecoin, man. That was one I did get out of. Anyway, but what I find is weird about this, like, I don't see Elon Musk being a particularly conservative, politically speaking, person. He doesn't seem to be like some,
Say it.
He's not like a crazy like leftist, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I see
let the hate flow through.
No hate, brother. No hate.
But
honestly, he strikes me more like your attitude. It's like, well, actually, no, he strikes me more of like Spock. Spock. Yeah, like logic. It's
very
just
logical
logic.
and scientific.
It's just logic, So a lot of things that the far left are like, he hates us. And Elon's like, I don't hate anybody. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I'm like, he's an alien, so you should listen. Anyway, but there's nothing about him that makes me say like, oh, he's a conservative. The reason I say that is this. Strangely enough, like conservatives are just cheering this. Like this is a great win for the Republican Party. Is Elon Musk buying Twitter? I've been looking into it, and they're like, well, this, and this, but he's already made changes, and I believe you're the one who told me this. Yeah. He has already made changes to Twitter.
Yeah, a huge one that people have been asking for the beginning. Since the beginning, it's like, why can't we have this?
Right, so share.
Elon and Twitter have decided that in the future, there's going to be an upcoming edit button. So no longer do you post and say, oh, and try to get it back and delete it, and it's out there if someone captured it.
You can edit that thing.
Now you can hit edit. And your history, I'm sure, will be like Facebook, remain forever. But at least you have an editable tweet. So now we'll see what happens. Because we've always had this world of people tweet something that they thought was a text message, and then boom, it's on Twitter. It's like, oh crap, I can't get that out of there. So it's the reason I deleted my Twitter several times is because it's like I can't edit these. I've posted stuff that I can't undo.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna delete the whole.
The only
thing
I use on Twitter now is as an echo chamber. I just share things.
Yeah,
on it.
I share things that.
But
I
now that
follow
we can edit,
things.
because every time, like, honestly, I was scared to death of Twitter because I could be like, man, this ham sandwich is really good. They'd be like, what do you mean by that? And I was like, what? That ham's good. So you're calling all the cops pigs? And I'm like, what? No, I didn't.
Salami for life, fool.
I'm like, I don't even know why you're upset. And they'll be like, that's not kosher. You're anti-Semitic. And I'm like, I don't hate Jews either. I don't know what's going. Twitter just seems like a place where I could get in trouble.
Social media in itself
Is a place where I could get in trouble.
It really is. You got to be careful what you say because it's out there to the public. And not only that is you can't always tell what someone's saying just off of text.
Yeah. Do you remember back? Let's see. It's 22 now, so it'd be about 8 years ago. Whenever you and I like first met. I guess that'd be 9 years ago. Either way, you remember when we first met? I mean, I didn't ask you any political questions.
No.
You didn't ask me any. We didn't really care. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Not
Back
at
when
all.
we just didn't care about that.
Yeah, no.
Like, I don't know if it's because I'm aging into like becoming like
Grumpy old man?
Yeah, a grumpy old man or something. But but still to this day, I don't ask anybody political questions. Like when I first meet them, like, hey, how you doing? Are you a Republican?
Because you can it's going to weed itself out through and you can tell if
It's
you want to
pretty obvious pretty quick.
Yeah, you can tell if you want to hang out with that person or not. And if it's going to be a political disagreement that you can't
Every
get past,
single time when you talk,
then
it ain't worth it.
it probably isn't because you're not going to come to a middle and you're not going to be able to converse or have a in-depth conversation or
I mean, look at what happened just like
share thoughts.
not like what 4 minutes ago when we're talking about your wife's comment here, and you said, and I agree with her on that, and I said, well, I disagree.
Oh, our show didn't end right there.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't decide to try to kill each other or burn down the shop or anything like that. We just said, oh, okay, well, that's fine. Because like it doesn't change the fact that I love you or your wife. I love both of you guys because you're a part of my life. I don't care that we see things differently. Like, what's so cool about, we were having this conversation a little bit before we started recording about the religion thing, right? You guys are very like not into religion. Like you're agnostic.
More or less.
Your wife is spiritual, but not necessarily religious, as most hippies are. You feel me? That's said out of love too.
Yeah, he's not saying hippie from a place of hate.
Yeah. But like with me, with my faith, even though some folks would be like, well, Christians are responsible for terrible things. I'll be like, yeah, believe me, I know. So are like white folks in general. But like my God that I serve, the God of the Bible, okay, Yahweh, okay, this is the God that I serve, right? I have been called on to love God and to love people. It does not say love God and love other Christians or love only the people that go to this church with you.
The ones that look like you?
Well, there ain't none of them at my church that look like me, homeboy. I promise you that.
I'm black sheep.
Yeah, I'm walking around like sleeved out. I'm like, what's up, guys? Jesus loves y'all. And they're like,
He loves us.
Yeah, it's like, well, we'll be praying for you.
Yeah.
Sister Bertha better than you. I
Honestly,
appreciate it.
I've imagined just from stereotype and the way that you look, I imagine that, people that don't know you that are in your church that may have never met you before have this predisposition about who you are and what you are.
Like I just like jamming Slayer nonstop.
Yeah,
And
it's like this guy obviously is only here because he's a recovering alcoholic or drug addict.
yeah, and they're like, are you a recovering addict? I'm like, well, I'm a recovering law enforcement officer.
The military where you couldn't grow your hair, you should have a beard.
Yeah, exactly. Like people are like, oh, he's got long hair and a beard. It's like, that's because I lived a lifestyle where I literally had to keep it cut short and shaved clean forever.
And people still to this day message you and say, hey, what's up with the hair? It must be out of the service now, right?
Right. I had it on my Instagram not like a month ago. So I take it you're not in the military anymore. I'm like, no. But neither here nor there. The point I'm getting at is this, is like, there used to be a time that we like actually cared about each other as people, not just about our political standpoints and all that kind of stuff. And I understand that with the polarizing times that we're in, blah, 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 it's a part of life now and you're going to have to, vet people. Mm-hmm. But I got news for you. Just because I'm a conservative doesn't mean I get along with all conservatives, okay? I don't like, look, anyone who preaches hate towards another human being, it doesn't matter if I agree with their lifestyle or not. If you're going to preach hate towards that person, then I don't want to have nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? I don't know why I got to hear from Elon, but I was talking about how like everyone's like championing him as like the Twitter Republican king,
which is kind of
so. And all I'm saying is like I saw a bunch of like videos that said like Elon Musk just bought into Twitter, and then like a little video that said Trump's Twitter account or whatever, and it's like banned or blocked or whatever, and it's like, I'm back. And I was like, well, I mean, that might happen, but dear God, I'm glad I don't do the Twitter thing. It's first off, okay, I'm back on Twitter. Okay, so it's poopy time Twitter all the time. Baño Twitter.
He's never left our show. He's always been in the
that's
background.
right. Trump will always be in my heart as just a great source of comedic.
He's always going to be a caricature.
Yeah, and look, man, it doesn't matter whether I liked his policies or not. As a human being in the White House, what did we do? We put a cartoon character in there. Yeah, it was like, we were like, and the next president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. I was like, what?
Are we watching a Comedy Central roast? Or
right. Okay, first off, nobody can roast me, okay?
They
there's absolutely nothing about me that could be touched. I'm like, your raccoon hair. And he's like, it's worth $1 billion. I'm like,
yeah, I remember that.
He's
that was
always
actually one of the better Comedy Central
It
roasts.
really was. And Donnie was great.
Yeah, whoever did his jokes, if he did his own, it's funny. It was good.
Well, I promise you that dude didn't do his own jokes.
I can tell you at that point, I never expected that guy to be a president. That was crazy.
Look, the fact...
world changes.
Yeah, our world is changing, and like I understand that some people. I actually no, I don't know. I don't know that any side, politically speaking, I don't think any side thinks it's just going great. I think everyone's
I would hope not.
Yeah, because if the left is like this Disney thing, that's got us going in the right direction, and then the right's like everything sucks. But if we get DeSantis,
we have so many things that upset conservative people that goes on. We have so many things that happens that upsets the left liberal minded people. We have so many things that upset people that are of any type of a race or religion or anything. It just everybody, there's so much going on where there's so much opposition to everything. It's a lot of hostility.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. I don't know how anybody. I feel like that meme where there's that little dog sitting in the room that's
this
burning,
is fine.
and this is fine. That's America.
Yeah. Well, but here's something kind of cool because I did an experiment. Okay, I spent about a week where I really paid attention to national news and all that kind of stuff.
Ew.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. This social experiment was very dangerous for me. Because I've been open about it. I deal with depression and stuff like that. So that week was to coin a phrase that conservatives hate, was very triggering. It really was. Like I was very upset that week. Not like not like all is lost, but like I was just bummed out, bro. I was just bummed out.
Each one would get under your skin a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it got under my skin in a sense of like I can't believe that's happening. Or it's getting under my skin of like, I can't believe we're still talking about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always something. Like, why Donald Trump hasn't been president a year. Why is he still getting blamed for things? And then, like, you watch it, like, I don't know. Maybe he did do all that. Maybe he should be blamed. I don't know. And then, like, you have, like, there's, in a news cycle anymore, there are no stories about the fireman who saved a cat from the tree. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that that's silly, but there's nothing good. But you want to know why? Because there's a James Bond villain by the name of Elliot Carver. Can you name the movie? Are you a Bond guy?
No.
Okay. Well, never mind then. It was in Pierce Brosnan's second movie as Bond. The movie was called Tomorrow Never Dies. Okay.
I did play Nintendo 64.
There you go. Yeah. So in Tomorrow Never Dies, the villain, Elliot Carver, is he sells tomorrow's news. Why? Because he's a villain who's making tomorrow's news. Okay, he goes out and sinks a naval vessel and he's taking pictures of it.
That's his
like,
gimmick. I get it. It's
so
creative.
Yeah, right. So there's that, and he has a coined phrase in this. He says, "Because there's no news like bad news." And I was like, boy, that's like we are living in the age of James Bond villains. This is crazy because there's no news like bad news. Like so, then the next week, turned it off. Don't care. I stayed off of social media as much as I could. I didn't really do anything personally. I just checked like the show stuff whenever you'd post things, make sure I was reacting, that kind of stuff. I was significantly better. You want to know why? Because I went out and actually experienced people. The country's not sunk, man. The media is what's making everything look bad. And I know that I sound like one of those people, the media. But I'm just coming from a real place of actually looking at it is things aren't as bad as they seem. Your neighbors don't hate each other near as much as it's being portrayed.
I don't know. My neighbor that moved away, I used to hate him pretty good.
Well, I'm not talking about you personally. You're a hateful creature with a lust for blood, but and a mind full of hateful thoughts. To the most like laid back person I've ever met. That's my David Attenborough, by the way. He might be making some appearances.
That's good.
Yeah, I think he might start reciting Cardi B lyrics. We don't know.
Oh my god.
But no.
Wait.
We keep on getting off subject.
We do
man.
get off the subject, but
Elon, man, he's a cool dude. I'm pretty sure he's an alien. So let's just forget wherever I was going, that wormhole. Let's just get back to Elon. Okay. So Elon buys Twitter because he has about $1 bajillion, right? So what do you see actually being the point to this? What do you think? Because Elon's pretty strategic, it seems like, right?
You know, I'm under the presumption it's a way of making more money. That's
exactly.
That's all I've never thought there's any other political gain behind it other than, well, I can afford this.
Yeah.
This is the biggest social media platform in the world because slowly Facebook is dying. And
what? Not for us old people.
Well, the old people will always have Facebook. The youth have moved on to TikTok and Snapchat and Twitter. They've always had Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter,
Instagram as well. But they're not going anywhere for Twitter, apparently.
Yeah.
I've still fought it because I don't like character limit. I don't like...
Yeah.
It just, in itself, it's like I don't care about like a 5-second sentence that I said about how I feel about something non-secular, just out there, completely random thought.
Yeah.
I don't dig that. That's never been my thing.
Yeah, Twitter, the echo chamber that is Twitter is it's not really my thing either. I mean, you do what you have to do for the show, but other than that, Twitter's not my thing. I don't mind Facebook. I don't
feel
really
like
use
it would
Facebook.
help us spread faster, but the problem is sometimes I see the toxicity from Twitter conversations. It's like I don't want to engage in that.
Yeah,
I don't want to create that fire of toxicity.
I would say that's the whole thing. Is like, could we catch fire and really take off? Sure, but I would
moderate that.
Yeah, I don't really want to catch, like you said, like I don't want to be a toxic waste fire. You know what I'm saying? All right, so we'll just get off of that. So here's my next question for you: is Elon Musk actually from a different planet?
Yes. Wholeheartedly, yeah.
Yeah, different universe. You think he's traveled through space, time, all that kind of stuff?
I don't necessarily think that. All kidding aside, I think though there is something
because I'm on. I do.
I mean, you keep saying that to me. It's like I don't know. He may be. There's something about him that does make him a little different, and unique. That's why he's been successful is because of he's weird like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is, but I think that this is ultimately not a political gain. He's not doing some conspiracy to take over Twitter.
No.
He just saw this as an opportunity to make himself even wealthier, so that he can use that money to do whatever these things to the moon.
To the moon. Because he's going to colonize Mars, I'm pretty sure, within the next 10 years.
If anybody's going to actually make a legitimate attempt in trying to do it in their lifetime,
Elon Musk.
Gonna throw money at it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I say, that's the whole thing about Elon, though, man. Like, he's already, he tells everyone that he has Asperger's, which I think is a cover-up for the fact that he's an alien. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a little bit socially weird, but he's a genius.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Have you ever seen Solar Opposites? Have you ever seen Rick and Morty?
Same creator, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, it's like the same show. All right, so we'll just go ahead and shut it down for the day, man. If you were on the live stream, we appreciate you. Keep checking it out. Share that link around, all that good stuff. Thank you for listening, as always. So from myself, Hoot Hobbs, and from Pickle Rick, we bid you good night.